Yo, yo, yo. Welcome everyone to Across the Hobby for the week of October the 20th. Today we're going to look at the biggest auctions from last week, the biggest auctions from this week. I've got a few mail days to show through that, through to you guys. And I'm just excited to be with you because I missed you last week. Last Monday, I was out. You might tell I'm a little bit darker than usual. In fact, my face is peeling. I got burned everywhere. We had our annual family vacation to Newport Beach last week and had so much fun. But I missed doing this show, so it's good to be back with you guys. And there's a lot to get caught up on, so we're going to try to keep this episode short today. But I have to tell you guys, you've got to know this. This is going to be one of the biggest week of auctions of the whole year. I mean that. Today you have MC Sports Cards monthly auction ending, and it is absolutely insane. You have all the normal auctions that are happening during the week, which we also have to cover, and then you have gold. You have Heritage's huge auction. Thursday, you've got the Fanatics Collect Premier auction that Jeremy and I will cover. So we've got a lot to cover. We've got about an hour, maybe a little bit more than that, to cover all of it. So let's jump in and get going. So we're going to start off this week with a few big sales that I noticed last week at MC Sports Cards. So MC Sports Cards had three giant cards that all end, hoodies had three giant flawless cards that ended or Eminence cards. Man, I am off already. Three giant Eminence cards that ended all on October 14th. And I was really watching them thinking, okay, how are these three cards going to do? Number one, Cade Cunningham, Fear No Evil inscription, 1 of 1, great looking card, $15,600. And this one really was interesting to me. This Steph Curry, 3 colors on the patch, autograph patch numbered to 10, sold for 16 grand. Here's why this one's interesting to me. Eminence has had a few different products over the years, right? His very first year, I have an autograph patch of his that I don't think touches this. So first year Eminence cards at this point, which are signed in gold, black background, people don't always love those things. I personally do. I love gold on black. It's like one of my favorite things. But that card, I think, is now underselling this card that I think a lot of people view as like very beautiful. It's really interesting to me. Maybe I'm wrong, by the way. Maybe 2014 stuff has grown, but in general, first year stuff typically sells better. But man, that does not appear to be the case right now. And then, of course, I highlighted this one on my Instagram too, as it was coming to an end. The Bronny James logo man, which is a 1 of 1, sold for over $10,000 hoodies. We're not gonna hit all the auction houses, but I wanted to hit a few things. Okay, so I want to talk about a bunch of the sales at Alt here as well. So this card, obviously really huge. Steph and Clay, $540,000 for the dual championship tag. It's an interesting card because they both won 7 By the time that Clay was done with Golden State, his jersey read 7. What does that 7 mean? It means that by that point in time, the Warriors franchise had won 7 championships. Clay, as you probably already know, only won 4 of those 7 with Golden State. And it's the same thing with Steph. Steph is only responsible for 4 of those 7, but the Warriors franchise has 7. So this dual, which they don't have very many of, they have very few of these dual autographs. In fact, until this year, you basically had cards that included other players on autograph or on cards with them and some sticker autographs. But these are some of the very first on-card duels ever. And this one with the 2 champ tags numbered 1 of 1, it's got a case for being their best duel in existence. I don't know if they were able to make any dual logoman autos or anything like that before they stopped. And if they didn't, this is probably the best one. Jordan and LeBron still pending, 267,000. Seeing this says sold and this says pending, I want to have a conversation after I go through these that I think is really important. I think there's some things that we should talk about here as prices are really insane. On a lot of stuff there, we should have a conversation. So let's do that. Another pending, an amazing Luka. Look at this 101. It's from 2023. So this isn't the most recent flawless. and the jump man right there in the middle. Amazing. An incredible Deion Sanders card. I think most people would argue it's his best in the world. 116,000. The Klay Thompson already sold right here. PSA 10 green Kaboom first year card. $110,000. 112,000 on the Victor Wembanyama downtown gold vinyl. A card that I think a lot of people are thinking about as like one of the inserts of the era. The LeBron gold refractor, we're still well into the six figures. This is just their weekly auction, guys. This is just the all weekly auction. 108,000 on a Josh Allen Gold Prism rookie. I was watching this one really carefully because I own one of the other two copies. You know, this still says pending. It does not have a sold button. But again, I'm going to cover that here in a second. So 96,000 on the LeBron. I paid, I think, about half for mine about a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe. Really a neat LeBron Luka dual card right here. Now we're down into $73,000 for a Kobe Kaboom. Still says pending. I'm gonna wait to have that conversation. Okay, so let's get to the Fanatics Collect weekly auction. Starting off with a Blastoise. I was watching this one a little bit, thinking, "Oh my goodness, this is an interesting one to see because this is not the Charizard, but one of the other biggest cards in the set." I typically don't talk about this type of cards, but a first edition Blastoise in PSA 10 is a big deal to see at auction. So $90,000 on that. Shay's ad tag patch auto from Flawless from 2023. PSA 910 does $78,000. That's a 3 out of 3. Mickey Mantle's off-centered, but it's still an SGC3. Really nice, except for that centering. 60 grand on that card. Love seeing this Brady, one of his big patch autographs out there. $45,600. Venusaur 10. Man, Blastoise almost twice as much as Venusaur. I'd love to look at the pops on that. Two of the big original Pokemon cards. So then let's get to the rookie royalty. This is the Kaboom Gold of Caitlin. 43,000. I think if I remember right, these were like 80 or 90,000 when they first came out. So that hasn't gone well. Now, I will tell you, as I was planning for this episode, I looked down and I saw this look and I just like shook my head. That's just such a pretty card. Flawless. You've got to give Panini a lot of credit with Flawless. I really think that in a lot of ways, they saved some of their best designs for last. And it makes you wonder, why did they wait as long as they did? This card right here, and then you're going to see one down here, this Anthony Edwards. I'm telling you, man, as far as nice autograph patches, outside of the 04 Exquisite set, I'm not sure I've ever seen a nicer designed autograph patch. It really stands out to me. It's just really beautiful. Really a light, glowing holofoil, very ornate, I call it etched holofoil. I don't know if that's a great name for it, but I've called it that over the years. And I think a lot of other people call it that now too. So that's what I call it, where you have like this designs in the holofoil. Another dual Logoman card. This is from Eminence. So these are game-worn Logoman of Jaw and Derrick Rose. Really a neat combination. $40,000 on that, and with no autographs, by the way. No autographs, just the Logoman. The Jordan silver, not the gold, the silver, $32,000. There's that Anthony Edwards. And then the trio out of 5 for $36,000. Man, how about Richard Dent? Those black borders brought in 31 grand. But obviously we know that's an exceptionally low population. The question, of course, is how low. So many things to look at. Let's keep moving. Golden, I just wanted to show a couple things here. I thought a couple prices at Golden were really low. And I point that out because this is a reminder. You want to go for buying purposes to places where you can get some good deals. And sometimes we're seeing some of these auction houses have some cards that maybe sell a little bit less than they should. You've got to spend your time every week, guys. Got to spend your time every week if you're looking for the best deals. Now, maybe I'm wrong about these best deals, but a few really stood out to me. And I'll just go to those right now. Is this area right here. So for under $5 grand, the Kobe right here is a great card. This 2016 Flawless Babe Ruth 1/1 jersey card is very cool. This this Shield autograph of Phillip Rivers 1/1 out of National Treasures for $4,400. Great card. And then we get to my two that really stood out to me. Nikola Jokic does not have that many big-time rookie cards. He doesn't have a lot of the autograph patches and the like. He does still have cards, right? He was drafted the year ahead, and for whatever reason, they just didn't make as many cards of him. He does have a flawless rookie. It's actually his second rarest rookie card. It was numbered to 20 or 25, and it's a great card. It's got like a flat foil on it, and it has just a few parallels. This is back when Flawless didn't have 10 different parallels or whatever. It had just a few. Well, one of the parallels that they've done every year of Flawless, all the way back to 2012, is the emerald or the green, and it's always numbered to 5. So this is one of those original. He has a rookie card from Flawless. That's the first thing you got to know. And then it's numbered to 5, $4,200. I mean, $4,200 is still a lot of money. It is a lot of money. Man, for that card, that feels like a really good deal. Like a really good deal. I don't know who bought it. I don't know who sold it. I know that I'm looking at it going, I could see myself spending that much. I could see myself spending a lot more than that on that card. That's a great card. Would I rather have the out of 5 or the out of 20 or 25 or whatever it is? It's a little bit tough because I'm not a huge fan of green just on the card. The 1/1 of this is very, very cool. One of his better 1/1s in existence. I just think, man, he's like the player of the era. And I think that's a great price. And then right next to it is another one that really stood out to me. LeBron, Carmelo, and Bosh. So you're missing Wade of the 4, but certainly 3 of the best players from one of the greatest draft classes of all time. It's not a rookie, but it's from 2 years later. The autographs on it look pretty good. It's graded a 9, $4,200. Compared to some of the other things I'm seeing, I look at that and I go, man, that's not a bad deal. It's just not a bad deal at all. So I just realized this is in the way, so I will get that out of the way for you. Sorry about that. And we'll stop there. But a reminder, look at all of the auction houses every week. If you don't, you'll miss out on some big stuff. Okay, so that took 12 minutes. Cool. So that is the big items for the ended last week, and we'll move from that to a conversation that I wanted to have with you guys real quick. 2 things that are not auction related. So one is I got a small order back from PSA. I want to show you guys real quick, as well as a cool card that came in. I already posted this one to you're not going to be able to see it very well because it's a printing plate. This is not the big one that I spent a ton of money on, but this is a card that I really wanted. So this is a Steve Kerr, as you can see on the slab, and you can see it better in person. Steve Kerr is on it, so is Judd Bushler. You can see on the back, along with the. I've never. It's funny. It's the first time I've gotten one of these things from the eBay guarantee thing. Man, it took forever. I'd like to be able to say it went really smooth. It did go smooth, but it took so long. Anyway, you can see on the back. So this is what the first printing plates look like on the back. It doesn't say 1/1 on the plate. I don't believe. I think my friend Chris told me that. It doesn't say 1/1. It is a printing. It is a 1/1, right? And in fact, it says 1/1 on the slab. I wonder if it was marketed as a 1/1 and they just didn't put 1/1 on the card. But this is the magenta plate. It's from the very first product that ever released plates, which was 97 Stadium Club, which coincides with the very first years that they had 1/1s in Ultra. They had 4 1/1s. I always think they had 3, but they had 4 1/1s. And then, sorry, I just said Ultra. I meant Showcase. And then before Showcase came out that same year, Ultra came out. And that's where the first 1/1s ever came out. And I have a card from that. I have the John Stockton. It's one of the biggest cards I've ever bought. I just think owning a player's first 1/1, it doesn't get much better than that. So there's that. And then I got 5 cards back from PSA that I think you guys will like. Each one of them sort of have a fun, quick story. So Marcus Camby, 8. This is the molten metal. I call this the molten metal gold. I think that fusion gold, excuse me. People are always like, is that the titanium? Is that this? Titanium in appearance is more of a silver. And I think they just messed up when they were creating the set. I know they messed up on the naming convention of it. I did a really long reel on it that I shared on my Instagram yesterday, sort of going back to why the set has some confusing things about it. But this is the rarest version of Camby. And people always ask me, they always say, did they forget to number them? Why did they number some and not others? There's 2 segments of the set. You don't need to know what the names are. There's 2 segments of the silver and there's 2 segments of the gold. And they're divided up the same way. There's 20 numbereds and 30 non-numbereds. The 20 numbereds in the silver are numbered to 250. The 20 numbereds in the gold are numbered to 40. They're the same. If you're numbered in the silver, you're numbered in the gold. If you're not numbered in the silver, you're not numbered in the gold. They're the same. They're just parallels of each other. So just think about them like Fusion Silver and Fusion Gold, and some of them are numbered. The rarer ones are numbered in each, right? So this is not as rare as the Michael Jordan that I own. That's numbered to 40. It's not. But it is a PSA 8. There's only a couple of them. I paid $5 for this card a few years ago. I remember like sort of looking at everything, realizing some of the stuff is so rare and it doesn't have any value, and it's just going to be worth a lot at some point. So I'm going to buy it. I'm going to just tuck some of these aside. And so I paid $5 for that. I think I paid $6 for the Stackhouse. Both of them graded in 8. Again, I'm like $11 into the pair of them plus grading fees. They're probably worth like $500 a piece, $400 to $800 a piece ish. I'm into them even with grading fees, like $30 or something stupid. So there's those, and then there's a couple of cool Kobe's. I love this card. I actually love this set. So 1990, is it 1998? 1999, Topps Gallery. It's called the Exhibit Set. They're not crazy rare, but they all look super different. Like they don't all look like that design. See how it says Baroque at the bottom? It's like the era of artwork that they wanted to highlight. All of the cards look really different. They're not crazy rare, but they almost never sell. And you can get some of the guys in the set for like 10 or 15 bucks. Kobe's not too expensive either. I think this card in a PSA 7 is like 150, 200 bucks. But I think it's very, very cool. They don't pop up that often. They're not crazy rare, but not that often. And it's a set that if Michael Jordan was in, these cards would be worth a ton. It's just very unique to have something so different throughout the set. These cards are not different throughout the set, but everybody loves them, right? The Gallery of Heroes. So I got a PSA 10 on that. I'm not a big, hey, what grade am I going to get guy? But I can't remember the last time I got a 10. It's probably my Steph 2012 Gold. Was the last time I got a 10 on a card. And this Kobe, I want to say about this too. Here's an interesting thing for you guys to think about. When these grades popped, I got the email from PSA. It's the first time I've gotten one of these because they just started this. I got an email that was like, we will buy your cards. I forget what it says, but it's like, we will buy these cards from you. And several of these, there was an offer on them. And there was an offer on the Kobe, and it was like $950 or something. And I looked at it and I was like, man, that's pretty close to what it's worth. I'm not telling you to sell your cards to PSA. It would have been really nice to just be like, click, and then get that $950. And I probably should have done it because I don't care about the card that much. Like I don't probably sell it at some point. This is not an Adam card, right? Like I can get into this anytime. I still think it's really cool. I still like owning it, but I know myself well enough to know when the time comes where I need money, what kind of cards am I going to sell? The cards that you can get back pretty often. I bought it when I bought it because I thought it was neat and I thought it was a great price, and then it ended up grading well. But even if it didn't, I would have still done fine on it. And then a card that is an Adam card, very much. The Joe Ingles Nebula from 2020 Prism. I love this card. It's got Rudy Gobert in the background. The video that I just took as I held it up for you does not do it justice. It is just beautiful. And for a guy like Joe Ingles, it's legitimately one of his best cards in existence. And I love Joe Ingles. So that's that card. Okay. Now I'm going to talk to you about something specific, and then we'll get on to the biggest auctions going on this week. So, how do I want to talk about these things? A few weeks ago, I made a video that some people didn't like called, and I put on the thumbnail something like, why auction houses need to keep their prices high. And I had some pushback on that, and I think people had some good comments, but I think I wanted to, and I've clarified some of it. I've continued to have some my spidey senses have sort of continued to make me nervous about some of the sales in the market, but it's incredibly difficult to determine what prices people are paying. And frankly, I'm not sure how much it matters how much people are paying, because not all of us base what we buy on comps or what we're willing to pay on comps. But I do feel strongly that as comps increasingly become something that we can't trust, that we lose control of, like, I don't know, we lose confidence in the whole system. And I feel that there's a rate that some auction houses have gone past that prevents us from knowing whether or not somebody paid. That's irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. It's if the rates get so low that people are willing to buy comps, it's a problem. And that's what I posted weeks ago. And that's something to worry about. That's something I still feel. My spidey senses tell me that's still something to worry about. As rates get so low, it makes sense from somebody who doesn't mind being deceptive, doesn't have a reason to. Some people don't believe in like moral compasses. Like, we all come from different places. I have a very strong sense of like right and wrong. I have a very strong sense of that is true or that is not true. That is a lie or that is the truth. And I don't think that creating false comps is okay in any world. I think it's evil, bad, wrong, deceptive, fraudulent, terrible. So when an auction house has rates that are so low, and when entrepreneurial, enterprising, but people who are mainly just concerned with money step to the table, that's a combination that makes me nervous. Again, if there is an auction house that has a fee that's it's really low, and there's somebody who's really smart but also deceptive, willing to be deceptive, and they come together, then you can have a situation where a card is sold, the auction house gets paid, the small percentage comes out, and that seller is still happy because the price is then out there for people, and people see what the card's been bid up to, and they get really excited. I can see auction houses doing that. I can see eBay consignment companies doing that. Well, no. Let me say, it's not that the auction house is doing. The auction house is not doing anything. The auction house could stand back and say, like, very very honestly, they could say, we haven't done anything wrong. We're just trying to create an environment that's as cheap as possible. And when I first made the video about this, the comments that I got from people were like, Adam, you're wrong. These auction houses are charging way too much money, and that's the bigger problem. And I think that's a fair comment from people. The thing that is, and I'm almost done here. I'll get to these. I know you guys are here to look at the auctions, so I'll get to those fast. But I want to make it clear that as we just trust these prices that are out there, conspiring individuals now don't have as much of a need to, and they don't have as much of a what am I trying to say? They don't have the reason, they don't have a barrier to entry. That's what I was trying to think of. Just imagine a world where the fee was 0%. What would stop somebody from creating entirely fake sales that, if they believe they could influence the market with that? And the closer we get to zero, the more of that happens. I feel like that might be happening more than it's happened before. And it makes me nervous. And it makes me nervous because I care so much about the hobby, guys. I care so much about, obviously, not only do I have like a lot of value in cards, but like I just care about the hobby. I care about like what it means and the history of cards and the history of it all. Like I genuinely care about it. And so when there are rates that are really low, it makes me really, really nervous. It just does. And so when I first talked about this was what I was going to say a few minutes ago, but I forgot. When I first talked about this, I had a friend who reached out and he said, Adam, like, why are you so concerned about this? Like, these auction houses have charged so much for so long. And what he didn't realize, I told him at the end, is some of these auction houses on some cards or with some individuals are charging a percentage that is so low. He's like, as long as it's like above like He said to me something like, as long as it's above like 6 to 8%, I think we're fine. And I agreed with him about that. I said, I totally agree with you, dude. Like 6 to 8% is right. The problem that I'm nervous about right now is people who are these some of these places that are offering like really low rates. Honestly, 5% I think is fine. Maybe even lower than that's fine. I worry about lower than that. If an auction house or an entity can offer you a 2%, a 3% rate, I just think when we get there, we're in a lot of trouble, guys. And again, I know I've been accused of beating the dead horse before. I've been accused of like caring about something that doesn't matter before. I have done this for a really long time. I've been wrong many times. Okay. But I've been a card collector for coming close to 40 years now. And I've seen a lot of crazy things in my time. And I am nervous about what rates are being charged right now. I'm nervous about what it means for us. And I know I've said it a million times. I'm going to keep saying it. And I don't care how much an auction house makes, guys. I just don't care. So let's talk now about the biggest auctions ending this week. I cannot impress upon your guys' minds enough how big a deal this auction is tonight at MC Sports Cards. It is crazy. It is absolutely nuts. We're not going to cover a huge percentage of it, but I'd like to give about the next 15 minutes to it. And I'm going to force myself to stay to that. But let's jump in right now and try to go through these things relatively quickly. You know what this MJ is right here, BGS 9.5, a giant Nomo. You can see along the bottom of these cards, by the way, the ones that are monthly showcase cards. And on the ones that are monthly showcase are sort of deemed to be some of the better cards. I don't know if it's still $5,000 minimum, but generally think about them like 5,000 and up type cards. For Nomo, you're not going to find too many cards as big as this one. A serial numbered insert to 25 from 97. To put it into perspective, for those of you who are basketball collectors, and I know the majority of you are, how many serial numbered to 25 inserts had been made back in 1997? I'll give you a hint. The answer is less than one. This didn't exist back in 1997. There was a parallel number to 10. There was a parallel number to 1 even. There were no inserts. They were number 25. And this is the certified team mirror gold, right? This is an insert, serial number 25, an early gold. And way before Prism golds, right? Way before Topps Chrome went golds, we had the Pinnacle certified team mirror set. Nomo is one of those icons from the 90s. I know I'm stuck on this card already. I love that piece. Mookie Betts. Ooh, Mookie Chrome update, gold refractor, but the gold refractor is to 250, huh? I didn't know that card was numbered to 250. Why is a gold numbered to 250? I got to look at this real quick. I thought that golds were just always to 50 in baseball, but I guess they're not. This one is to 250. Super interesting. Well, shows you what I know. I don't know anything. 2014, you know this Mookie Betts card. Apparently, the gold refractor is numbered to 250, but this is a PSA 10. How many PSA 10s are? That's the question. That is a question worth asking. Should we go look? Let's look real quick. I'm going to go over to my other screen. I'm going to go to the PSA cert site. I'm just going to quickly type in 119131001. I'm going to guess there's 30. That's my guess. 30 out of the 250. That might be a bigger number than that, actually. Well, it is being slow. 31, man. Freaking, that was lucky. That was pure luck because I didn't even really know. So I was off by one. There's 31 PSA 10s of that card. Big card. One of the best known guys in all of baseball for a long time, guys. All right, let's go back. Another one of my cards that's going to be one of my favorites of the week. We're going to highlight that one and come back and talk about it more in detail. Man, there's a couple giant Maraviches leaving. Somebody is getting out of their big stuff. Whew. Both this autograph and, I think, bigger card, in my opinion, the ComSpec. A Maravich ComSpec, 4.5. Rare card. Go look at the pop on this. In fact, you know, I'm going to do it for you guys. I'm going to show it off. This is a big card. This is one of the biggest Maravich cards in existence. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Actually, we're going to highlight it and then we're going to go look at it. Micah Parsons, PSA 9, Prism Gold rookie autograph, 676. Giant Zoe, obviously, PSA 6 on the 98 Rubies is almost at $5,000 already. Josh Allen, Jim Kelly dual downtown horizontal. Oscar Robertson rookie and a 7 giant card. John Morant, 1 of 1. Ooh, really cool card. An autograph on there. Would love to look at that image in that moment and sort of understand that card better. Wish we had more time. Clayton Kershaw, BGS 7 Heritage Real One red autograph, currently at $305. But you'll notice this is not a monthly showcase card. This is like a weekly showcase card, which is still a big deal. You can see right here. Number 98, you can also tell from the name up here, right? Monthly showcase. So they're running 2 showcase auctions at the same time. Wemby monthly showcase card. This is the 1-in-1 downtown. Red on the LeBron, BGS 9.5. A Steph 1-in-1 downtown, $3,700. Mahomes optic, $2,100. Giannis at $3,100. Acuna Topps update white jersey glove rookie, $760. Tiger Woods autograph shirt card from 2002. This is just the year after those rookies that you know so well, but it's pretty rare. Don't see this one very often. I don't believe it's numbered though. Still, there's not very many of those early autograph jersey, autograph shirt type cards. In fact, I can just say this definitively. Tiger doesn't have a 2001 autographed shirt card. He doesn't. That's why the autographs at SP Authentic do so well. They're just autographs, but they're the first ones. They're the rookies. They don't have an autograph patch, autograph jersey, autograph shirt card to compete with. The question I would ask if I was a big Tiger fan, and why I might have a great deal of interest in this card if I was does he have any earlier autograph shirt cards? And I think the answer is zero. I think the answer is none. So then how many autograph shirt cards were made in 2002? And you can, if you do the research, you can figure that out. Would be pretty cool. JJ McCarthy Contenders optic rookie autograph. Oh, this is the cracked ice. Such a great looking parallel in person. Erling, why does it say Erling Braut Haaland? Is that his middle name? I guess I didn't even know that was his middle name. So anyway, gold refractor. It's a gold refractor. It looks like, oh, I see that it's gold. Yeah. I thought it looked a little bit different for a second there. PSA 8, $2,100. Mahomes, this is the hollow, just the normal hollow, but a PSA 10, $2,500. A card that on the 25 and 25 did far better than people believed that it would. I would say this was the most shocking card to me on the whole list. People love the optic Mahomes. They love that image. Along with Steph Curry's Topps rookie, like one of those cards that just gives you the image of the guy. And I think that's what a lot of people really like that. $4,000 currently on a UNC autograph of Jordan. A Derek Jeter. What is this? Colorado Rockies inaugural. Clearly a rare, different kind of Jeter from 93. I don't know the story on this. It'd be an interesting one to learn. If you know anything about it, drop a comment. Always love learning from you guys. Drop a comment if there's something you know about that. I obviously know what the Topps Derek Jeter is, but this is something different. So, obviously it's probably a lot rarer. So Michael Jordan 2012 Master Collection autograph with a logo patch. Really interesting. Doesn't say it's numbered. Wonder if it is. Don't know if I've seen that card before. But different, and especially if you're a UNC MJ guy, it's a pretty unique piece. In fact, I'm going to look at that one a little bit closer. Oh, I love this Devin Booker. This is one of the best Devin Booker cards that I have seen at auction. We're going to cover that one a little bit more in depth. PSA 9 on the 72 Jabbar. That's the first year you get his Jabbar name. Before that, he's got Alcindor. I love the 71. It's one of my favorites. Oh, really an interesting Dwight Howard right here. I'm going to talk about that one for a few minutes. Okay, so after the Dwight Howard, we've got, this is a card they've already done a reel on this week. So if you haven't gone and seen it, go check out the reel that I did on a group of 5 credentials cards that are at this auction. This is one of the most unusual things that you will see in a long time at auction. There are 5 different credentials across, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years of sets that are numbered to 4 or less at auction right now. And you might say, well, Adam, it's not a huge deal to have like an auction of a rare card, like we've seen other one of ones. Why is it like, do you just love credentials or something? It's not like, I like credentials a lot. They're great. I only have one credentials card in my collection right now. They're not like my favorite things ever, although I really like them. I think they're really cool. What I love about credentials that is different than any other set, really probably ever, is that because of how they're made, there are these ultra rare like cards in the set where there's just a few, right? So most sets like a PMG green, there's only 10, and we can all agree that's like really rare, but there's 10 across the whole set. With credentials, you have some cards numbered to 80. Depending on the set, depending on the product, you might have cards numbered to 80 or 50 or 60, or even in some cases into the hundreds. But on the essential credentials, they usually, most sets have like a really rare other side of the set. So like for 97 basketball, Grant Hill's number to 1 on one side of the set, and then on the other side it's who is it? Who's on the other side? Why don't I know this like right off the top of my head? I can't think of who it is. 98's Larry Hughes. Who's 97? Tracy McGrady's number to 2. Who's number to 1? Oh my goodness, I'm totally having a brain cramp. Well, I'll remember that in 2 seconds. But for these auctions that are up right now, you've got this guy. Like I don't know this guy. Okay, I'm just gonna be real. I don't know who Danny Herron is. I don't know. I know who a lot of the other guys are who are listed, but this is what I know. Okay, 2003 Essential Credentials Future numbered 2 of 2. There's only one guy in the set who's rarer than this, right? It's whoever the one of one guy is, and people love credentials. People love the Cardinals. People love, like, there might be Dan Herron collectors out there. I don't know. It checks a lot of boxes, though. But the main box that it checks is it's a parallel that people love, and it's one of just a few cards in the set that are impossible to find. And that is why this card's going to sell for a crazy amount of money tonight. I would be shocked if it doesn't sell for a lot of money. Not because I like Dan Herron, for all those reasons that I already said, but I should have pulled up the card to talk about it. I'll show you one more of those here in just a second. Oh, maybe it's not a Maravich collector, because look, guys, there's also an Oscar Com spec up. Really interesting. A couple of big Mahomeses, a big Brady, number to 50 out of 2005. E-Tops. E-Tops was so before its time, guys. We weren't ready for E-Tops. E-Tops was like, let's get futuristic. Let's get to it now. Let's make these cards available. Let's buy and sell them digitally. You don't even have to take them out of the vault. It's what we're doing now, but we're doing it with, we're doing a lot of different things now. I've never seen this Brady before, but given that it's from 05, E-Tops, pretty early on, and that it says Topps on card autograph. I gotta look at this. We're gonna look at that one. See if we can understand it a little bit better. I always go over time, guys. Tony Parker. I used to own the very first championship tag auto of Tony Parker, which was from 2014 Eminence. I think this is a better looking card than that one is. I wish Tony had a nicer autograph, but that's not a commentary on this card. This is one of the most beautiful cards that you're ever going to find for Tony Parker. It's one of the best cards you're ever going to find for Tony Parker. My only nitpicking thing is he's not active when the card is made. He does have some championship tag autos where he is active. But as far as looks go, if that's what you're after, looks, rarity, still got the autograph, still got the championship tag, you're not going to do much better than that. You don't see a lot of $2,000 Tony Parkers, and it's because he just does not have a lot of big cards. This is a big card. Another Tiger auto. This is from 2014. SP Authentic vertical, really nice looking. Man, a Hornsby bat barrel. Just awesome. Gunnar Henderson, PSA 10 out of 25. Josh Allen, Oscar Robertson, 61. Pal Banchero, autograph gold rookie. SGA Flawless. I do really like this card. Flawless autograph rookie set is something they've had since the beginning. This is the main card. It's a normal Shea autograph. We'll look closer at it, but I really like that. Okay, we've already done one page. Let's scroll through this one a lot faster and just see anything that we're gonna fly through. Oh man, this Noah. I think I've got a friend who's buying a big card. That's the only thing I can figure out, because man, he is selling some big cards. This is Darius Darius. I should know how to say his name since I talk to him all the time. I think this is his. I think it's his. Man, I love this Joakim Noah. But there were some other cards that I thought might be his as well. And now I'm wondering if he's buying a big card. I should stop talking about this. Okay. Pop 5, Mike Tyson PSA 10. I don't know what this is. This is crazy. This is a crazy looking thing, but it's a PSA 10 from 1992 of Mike Tyson. Interesting. Oh, I love this card. I've always loved this card. I owned this card for a long time. And I love this piece. The Wilt 72. I owned it for a long time, not because I like the 71 more, but the 72, I like the design of the 71 more. I just love the pink in the background and the bubble letters. But in 72, that classic image of Wilt with the jersey on backwards, holding the ball like that. Like it's one of the key vintage basketball cards. I had a goal to get all of his cards in a PSA 9, and this is one that I owned. There's not that many, but it's not like the rarest thing. I don't see it hit auction very often, though. Like, I think a lot of people really like this card. So that'll be a fun one to watch tonight. Shaq and Penny duel. Gosh, that's cool. A card that's on my watch list, the Kevin Love Gold from 2012. His best non-one-of-one parallel, I think, pretty much for sure. At least I think that. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it probably is, though. Another 2012 gold, Revis BGS 9.5. That's the 1 of 10 to make it a little bit different. Wembanyama, MJ in a PSA 9. I know a couple of people who are after a big original beam team. MJ, duel with Kobe, not autographed. Duel with Kobe, dual mystery. PSA 10, big deal. David Ortiz, 1 of 1. Oh my goodness, 2008. Gosh, was he still with the Red Sox in 2008? I should know that. I don't know that. I just don't know. I don't know baseball, guys. The same way I know like teams for players for basketball. But I'll tell you what, that's cool. It's a 1 of 1. It's a 1 of 1 shield, a 1 of 1 logo, man. It's not autographed, but okay, another one of my favorites. We're gonna look at that Chris Kaman. Oh my goodness. I got to move on, guys. I got to move on. We've been on here for 20 minutes already. Okay. A few things. So Maravich autograph, big deal. Pete died in like 90, 91, something like that. He was so young, and he was younger than me. It's like 41 years old. Signed right here, right across the face on this card. That's, probably where you want it, unless you want it over here, as you can see it. I love that it's in pen. I just think pen autographs are great. Why do I think pen autographs are great? It's because, well, for a few things. I think it looks like a more period thing, right? Although Sharpies and markers existed during Maravich's life, this looks more like an autograph that he would sign back in 1977 because it's in pen. The thing that I really like about it, though, is if I was a bad guy and I was trying to fake an autograph, I would think that signing in marker would be easier to remove, because I believe that you can wipe, from what I understand, you can wipe some markers straight off if they haven't dried. So if you imagine somebody's out there trying to fake autographs, which I always worry about on in-person autographs. I've always been worried about that. Is somebody more likely to be able to fake an autograph in pen or in marker? In marker. It's just true. I would think it's true because you could wipe that off, right? If you could wipe it off and try it again. Can't do that with pen. The pen's got the clear indentation on the card. And if you go look at the pop reports for Maravich's autograph over the years, yes, I have one. Yes, it's in pen. Mine's from 71, though. It's one of my favorite cards in my collection. It's like one of the highest graded cards, too. I think it is the highest graded Maravich from 71, or maybe the second highest. Either way, it's a big card because that's his first regulation size card, too. This one I like more in some ways, though. Why? Because he's wearing his Jazz colors. And when we think about Maravich and the lore that exists behind him, we think of him more as a member of the Jazz than we do as a member of the Hawks. So it does have some real positives going for it. And look, the card looks pretty nice, too. The question is, why didn't they grade the card? Might have been a mistake to not grade the card. Even if it's just like a 6 or a 7, I think people are going to like that more. They're going to like a 6 or a 7, or maybe it's a 4 or 5. I think people are going to like that more than leaving it authentic. It just presents exceptionally well. I think they could have graded the autograph too. It was graded a while ago, and maybe that's why they left it off. Maybe the price didn't matter as much then as it does now. But you get this now, you resubmit to PSA, you ask for the card grade and the autograph grade. What if this card comes back? I haven't looked at that close, but is it an 8? Is it a 7? What if it's a 7? What if it's a 7 with a 9 autograph? It's just a different level card. So think about that. We were going to check the pop on this. I just have to check the pop on this Maravich. Have to. I'm going to guess this card has been graded 17 times. Ooh, this is a little bit of an older cert. Reholder. I typed in the wrong thing. 19197. Oh, missed the 6. 38. So this card is a, if it will show up, man, we have a slow internet. Let's see. Okay, so if we look at the population report for 1972 ComSpec, we'll see a few really interesting things. So only 740 cards ever graded. And if you look at the cards that have been graded most, obviously some of the stars are going to be the cards that you see. But look, Jabbar is 20, and then Walt Bellamy is 20. So, and in fact, Walt Bellamy has some others with qualifiers and plus. So Walt Bellamy is actually a total of 24, and Chamberlain's 22. So maybe we're just seeing the majority of them graded. But then you see Chamberlain's 30, a little bit more. And then you get down to Maravich. Maravich is 29. So he's in line with all the other guys. But for Maravich, it's really considered one of his best cards in existence. A lot of people don't like the 71 or 70 rookie card. And I like it in that it's iconic. I like the image. I like everything about it other than its size. If you want a key regulation size or smaller type card, you either have to go to secondary stuff, which is what I have done, or you have this like really rare. You have this card. You don't have that many really rare Maraviches. He doesn't make it into the 68 tops test, for example. There's not a lot of oddball cards these years that are really rare. There's cards like the Icy Bear where there's, it's rare. It's like, it's not like a tops card, but it's not that rare. Like you can generally find one if you want one. A lot of them are out there that they're ungraded. This is not like that. 72 ComSpec is about as rare as it gets for this era. The only thing that beats it 68 tops test, and it's the only thing, in my opinion. There's other stuff that's a little bit oddball where you're like, is that a card or is that a postcard that you could sort of point to? But yeah, if you want a key Maravich, so where does it fall in this? It's a 4.5, right? Like what kind of card is a 4.5? Because it's like, oh, that's so low. Well, yeah, obviously, like 4.5 is not a 10, but for Pete Maravich, I mean, look, 4.5 sits right here, right? All right. Oh, I'm wrong. For Pete Maravich, it's, you've got these 6 that are below it, these 4, these 2, this 1. It's pretty average. It's like, it's an average card right here. You've got 4, 6, 7 below it, and then you've got 10, 12, 13, 14 above it. So it's bottom 35%. So it's not like one of the best copies, but it's better than a lot of them too. So really an interesting Maravich to look at. Pull this back over here so I don't forget it. And I wanted to look more at this Jordan because I wanted to understand like what's going on here. It's the Jordan Master Collection, non-NBA license, obviously made in 2012. And so after they didn't have the NBA license, they had to focus on things that were really cool, but not NBA license. So on this, you get the statue, and then you've received a trading card with a manufactured basketball patch, as well as the autograph of MJ. It was signed in the presence, blah, blah, blah. The autograph's really cool. A lot of people don't like black, but I'll tell you what, this one turned out really good. I'm sure Beckett rated it a 10. Yes, they should have. That is just a phenomenal autograph. And, it's not numbered. And you want to go do some research and try to understand how many of them there are. And you can look at that by how many of them were graded, what the odds were. It says LC1, which tells you there's probably multiple logo collection cards. And it might be the case, since it's UNC Master Collection, it might be the case that like all of the different UNC logos have their own card. And it might be a pretty cool story. So I would spend some time like looking at that if you're in the market for an MJ autograph, or obviously if you already know about the card and you know about the set. So I love this Devin Booker. I love this card. A couple things you got to know. Okay, so first thing to know is that that you might not know is that when Devin Booker came out, there were a couple people that really hoarded his stuff, and so a lot of his stuff really went bonkers right off the top. He wasn't a super high pick, right? I think he was pick number 13, 15, 13. I should know. But almost immediately, he was really exciting as a guy who was going to really fill it up. And we know he's like one of the best scorers in the NBA, right? He has a great autograph, and he's one of the guys who's always had a great autograph. And that's his rookie signature right there. You know what it looks like. A lot of these patches are sort of these, I don't know where it comes from exactly on the jersey, but they're like these striped patches. I think a lot of them are sort of diagonal like this. I like it. I think it's really cool. And you don't even hardly see, or at least historically, we have not seen a lot of his out of 99 RPAs sell. But why does this one really stand out to me as one of the most interesting cards in the auction? Well, you got to get to the holofoil, right? I buried the lead here. It's the holofoil. It's the gold out of 10. At this point, back in 2015, 2015 when this came out, there just weren't that many parallels. There were parallels at this point, but this is one of the main ones. And the main rookie card, I'm right about this, right? The main rookie card was also horizontal. So you've got the main rookie card that's horizontal, and then you go look at the number of parallels there are on your own. I don't recall right now, but like, how do you differentiate his rookie? Well, in 2015, you know, what Devin Booker rookie do you want? You probably want his NT. And if you want his NT, what version do you want? Well, you'd love his Logoman autograph. But outside of his Logoman autograph, is this the best one? It's close. It's up there. I think it's aesthetically fantastic. I've said this a lot of times in the past. I just want to make it really clear because I don't know if I've said it exactly this way. Rookies out of 99 are cool. I get why people like them. I get like people want something that has like a more readily determined market value. Outside of LeBron's 03 Exquisite out of 99, even cards that are like consider a player's best rookie, generally you can find. That is not true for parallels out of 10 like this. This is one of the best Devin Booker rookie cards in existence. It is. 2015 was different, guys. It was harder. It was easier to figure out. These days, it's hard to figure out sometimes. Like, where does this fall on this guy's like list of great cards? Devin Booker has some great Prism cards. He's got like the White Sparkle, which is the first year of White Sparkle. He's got, obviously the gold, some of those other cards. And then it's like, what are his other great cards? Well, if you want an RPA, you're probably looking at National Treasures. Like this is out of 10. It's awesome. It'll definitely go in my top 10 this week. Man, I'm taking way too long. I shouldn't have closed that, but it's closed now. I love this Dwight Howard, and people are like, why do you love this Dwight Howard? Probably, gosh, it's in the monthly showcase. That's interesting. It's only sitting at 325. This will be a fun one to watch tonight. So why do I love it? Draft Day Inc. was a set that us weirdo collectors that love like really rare, unusual sets, really, we know this set well. Like Kobe's got a card in this, and his card's numbered to 13 because he was the 13th overall pick in the draft. And I would love to own one of those as a Kobe collector. But when I saw this, my eyes got really big because Dwight Howard was the number 1 overall pick. So I think this card's 1 of 1. Why don't I see the number? It's right there. 1 of 1. And I think it says it in the listing, right? Too. Yeah, 1 of 1. This is a 1 of 1 from a set that is not made of mostly 1 of 1s. Michael Jordan's in it. He's numbered to 3. So I love this. I love this card. And I wanted to see the autograph on this. Yeah, kind of light. Didn't stand out when it was small, but it's still there. It's on card. The card, there's a lot going on the card, right? And the surface that's signed with the pen, it's easy to get a little bit lost. But I'd love to see it in hand. See how when you look at this image, you can see it. I guess they're probably the same. Yeah, they're the same. They look exactly the same. What am I talking about? It's just easy to get lost. It goes off card a little bit. It's interesting that it's a 10 with it going off card like that. But it is. You've labeled it a 10. I love the tops, little sticker on the back that authenticates it. Really cool. And then I like this Shea Gilgeous-Alexander a lot. I've always felt the autographs out of Flawless are really undervalued. They've never really taken off, but they make them every year, and people love straight autograph cards. I think the time might come where people like see so many patches and they're like, okay, there's a few of these that really matter that will always be the best, but some of them, like, why do I care about this patch? Instead, on this one, you get a very young SGA. He's literally signing this during his rookie season when he's still with the Clippers. Number 5 out of 25. He doesn't have a lot of stuff out of Flawless, and Flawless is the highest end brand that came out that year. There's no Eminence in 2018. So, really cool piece. All right. I love this card. I have always loved this card, and I'm really surprised to see it for sale. Graded a 6, Hall of Foil around the window, autograph on foil. The Durant of this has never surfaced, and boy, we would lose our minds if it did. Even though Durant's not the most popular guy, man, I would love to see the Durant of this surface. I might bid on this tonight. I don't even love Joakim Noah, but I love that signature. We'll see what this one does tonight. I might be bidding on that one. Okay, the Chris Kaman. Yeah. No one in the world likes Chris Kaman. No, I'm just kidding. I liked Chris Kaman as a player. He was awesome. But he's just, I think people look at him and go, well, that's not the most interesting guy. Like, big guy, strong, not the most interesting game, nothing finessey about him. But it's 2 out of 4 from the 03 credential set. The LeBron James of this card right here is worth 7 figures. I can say that definitively. It's a 7-figure card. To get anything in that same vicinity is awesome. It's sitting at 338. TJ Ford's numbered to 2. I wonder who's numbered to 3. It'd be a really interesting checklist to look up. Try to understand it. In fact, I would recommend you do that. If you have any interest, go look at the checklist on this on Beckett's website. And you're going to look through the set and go, oh, why'd they put that guy at 2? Why'd they put him at 3 and 4 and 5 or whatever? Wade, I think, is higher. Wade is like 20-something. Not that it's an easy card. It's still a great, great card. I owned the Bosch, and I thought the Bosch was to 4. The Bosch must have been to 5. But I thought it was undervalued, and I bought it, and then I had to sell it. I wish I could have kept it because that's a great card. So there's several of these up this week. All right, we're going to stop there. There's so many amazing cards up for MC this week. But remember, they all end tonight. So make sure tonight that, if you're into big time auctions, tonight's one that you want to make sure that you look at. All right, let's jump straight into hoodies. Hoodies doesn't have any of their like crazy auctions happening right now, but they do have a few cards right at the top that I really want to highlight. This Buzelis is really interesting. That 6 is game used. They obviously have not had a championship since MJ won his 6th final with the Bulls back in '98. So that 6 represents each of those 6 championships that Jordan won. But why this is really unique, that is a game-used patch right there. This card is not a 1 of 1. It's out of 4, but it's also a rookie, and it is beautiful. And Buzelis is really the only thing in Chicago that people are really excited about. I wanted us to take him over Cody Williams. We took Cody Williams. I thought that was a mistake. That's turned out to be right. Buzelis is awesome. Cody Williams, you probably don't know what he's even up to. But $8,000 is what that's at right now. Durant KD dual color blast, $6,900. Reed Shepherd, 2 really interesting cards here. I, in general, like Eminence, but I'll tell you what, I like this card more. I know that this is a 1 of 1 and this is out of 10, but I don't know this tag as well. And I like this patch a lot. I like the look of this one with the Hall of Foil around the window. With Eminence on this card, they sort of made the Hall of Foil window a little bit less than awesome. Still, it's 1 of 1. And there's not a lot of 1 of 1 Eminence Reed Shepherd rookies out there. So, and you just look at these staffs, man. They are beautiful cards. Okay, we're going to stop there for MC. We're going to get out of that. We're going to get out of Chris Kaman, Shea, I probably should have kept that Maravich. We're definitely not going to get out of this. Awesome Joakim Noah. That might go on the list this week. It might go on the top 5 list this week, guys. Okay, so let's get out of, we don't need to be in golden anymore. We don't need to be in this anymore. So now we're going to go to alt. Alt has a few big auctions, huge auctions ending this week. $45,000 on this Luka. It's like it's a laundry tag patch auto from 2021 flawless. So that'll be game used. Take a look at all of the, like, you do this you do this pretty easily. Take a look and look at all of the autograph patches or autograph tags for Luka Doncic ever that have sold out of flawless. Do a quick card ladder search on this. I think you'll find it interesting. There's not very many of them. Speaking of autograph patches, the blockchain Logoman autograph, Dirk Nowitzki from 2020, another huge piece. Oh, this is a cool card. This Tatum, that patch or tag right there is very, very cool. Love this Tiger Woods right here. Anything else that we need to see real quick? We're just going to scroll down through a couple more lines. All right, we're running a little late, so we're going to cut it short there on alt and go to Fanatics Collect. Now, Fanatics Collect's premier auction is crazy, bonkers, crazy, insane stuff. As you can see from this first line, that's already at like $1.4 million or something. Jeremy and I, as we do always, will be hitting this one on Thursday night, and we will cover all of it on the Sports Cards Live YouTube watch party. If you have not joined before, I am telling you, it is so much more fun to join that one live. If you have anything going on Thursday night, I totally understand. But if you have time, come join, say hi, and just join the chat. Ask questions. Say, why is that worth so much? Why is that important? What's wrong with that? Why doesn't it sell as much? I like this card a lot, and it's not doing well. Whatever you want to say, whatever you're thinking about the cards, we always love to opine on, why we think things happen and what we think of certain cards. I will not be able to cover very much from Fanatics Collect right now. We're going to just take a couple of minutes, but I wanted to hit some of the highest, the biggest auctions. You want to talk about 3 really different cards. You have the Exquisite Era's maybe best Jordan insert. When I say insert, I mean like autograph patch from Exquisite. If you were to say, okay, what Jordan autograph patch is the most ever from Exquisite? Well, we have very fresh in our minds the Logoman autograph with he and Kobe Bryant. That card sold for almost $13 million. Okay, so what's the best solo card where you don't have Kobe Bryant? Or what's the best non-Logoman? So that's a different question. Jordan doesn't have a whole lot of Logoman cards in Exquisite, and he doesn't have any solo Logoman cards in Exquisite. So what are the best patch autos ever for Michael Jordan? Well, you have the 03 limited, we have the 03 number pieces and the 03 emblems of endorsement. That's the first year that they made those sets. This is 08. It's not the last year. It's the second to last year, but it is an emblems of endorsements, and it's numbered to 10. So where year 1's numbered to 15, year 6 is numbered to 10. It's rarer, right? It's notably rarer. It's also got that gold ink. And why that matters, we talked earlier about how like sometimes people like gold ink, sometimes people don't. I think when you think about it from Exquisite's perspective, you have to think about it like this. Some people might say, I'd rather have a blue ink on-card autograph over gold on black. Okay, fine. But what if you then turned around and you said, would you still rather have the blue on white if all of the other patch autos that had been made for a product ever had been like that, and there was only one gold on black autograph? And I think what you'd realize is a lot of people would say, I do like this one that looks really different. And it's not only really different, it's really cool, right? It's a cool looking card. We also know that the patch, and this is again from the story that I told a couple weeks ago, the reel that I did a couple weeks ago. The patch window is shaped like a Chinese symbol or character, I should say, that means sky. I think it's pronounced Tian, and it means sky. And a lot of people look at that and they go, and you think about like the Asian markets, okay? They think about Michael Jordan. What's his nickname? Air, like sky. One of the rarest autograph patches ever out of Exquisite. I think it's the rarest autograph patch Michael Jordan that Exquisite made. They have another one that's out of 10. That's the 09 limited logos is also out of 10. And then there's an autographed jersey. It's not a patch though. It's an autographed jersey out of 04 called the Titleists. Those are like the top of the top solo MJ autographed game worn cards from Exquisite. So seeing one at auction is a huge deal. When was the last time we saw one of these sell at auction? Has never sold. Huge Steph Curry, 9.5. The thing that I notice here, really interesting, it appears, and this is going to be something to watch, guys, as I click the wrong button. It appears that for the first time ever, we're seeing Fanatics look at some cards and apply eye appeal stickers on non-vintage cards. This is going to really matter for a few sets. How much is it going to matter on this one? I'm not quite sure. I mean, this is, let me not bury the lead too much though. This is one of the best Steph Curry cards in existence. This is his RPA out of 99 with a fantastic patch, an awesome grade, and a good looking autograph. It is one of the biggest Steph Curry cards in existence. But I noticed this because this is different. We haven't seen this before. It's interesting that they added it, right? Like they're saying this is a nice looking card. Okay, Derek Jeter, not a rare card, right? See it all the time. One of the most iconic cards of baseball. In fact, if you could make the argument, I think pretty easily. In fact, this is the most iconic baseball card since the 80s. Probably is, right? 89 Griffey. This Jeter or the Topps update Trout? That's the question that you're asking. I think it's this Jeter. I think this Jeter is the most iconic baseball card since the 80s. And you see them all the time. They're not a big deal. So why is this one $260,000 plus buyer's premium? It is all about the condition and the grade. A PSA 10 of this card is impossible to find these days. As far as how hard it is to gem, I did some research on this about a year ago. The Henderson Topps, and one other card were easily the three toughest cards that had been graded the most to get a PSA 10 on, like incredibly low gem rates. I think it was the Jerry Rice Topps rookie. I think those are the three toughest cards of the 100 cards most ever graded. So if you took like the list of the 100 sports cards most graded ever and asked which ones have the lowest gem rates, it's those three cards. You never see this one. It's that foil, guys. It's just an impossible 10. A few years ago, Ken Golden opened some boxes of these, and I think he got 3 of them. And I think after he graded them, he got 6s and 7s. I think. All right. Boy, big triple logo man here. Shaq, Yao, Timmy. 3 of the all-time great bigs. One of one, obviously, this is a key to me, from the first year of triple logomans. There's no triple logoman ever made before this. 03 had 3 dual logomen. But if you like the idea of 3 logomen on a card, this is the first time, and you get all 3 of those dudes, man. Okay. 2 of the most interesting auctions of the week, and then we're going to get on to the other stuff because I'm, as usual, super late. Donruss Optic Downtown Gold Vinyl Steph Curry. Why is this a big card? If you are a collector like me who is not as interested in the most modern stuff, it doesn't matter as much. But I will tell you this. People love downtowns. They love gold vinyl. They love that these are one of ones. And in this case, they love that it's the final year of this product. So how much do they love it? Well, we saw another sale from this set that was from that was a card that had sold at alt of LeBron James recently. It was one of the biggest LeBron James sales ever. It sold for like $500,000. Crazy money. In fact, let's just go look it up at Card Ladder. Let's see if I think I'm signed in right now. If not, then if I have to enter my password and stuff, we won't do it. But so if we go to Card Ladder, and we're just going to go type in downtown, and we sort by highest price, we will see it sold for $412,000. So I was off. Remember, we covered the Victor Wembanyama that just sold this week. It sold for $112,000, and the LeBron is at $412,000. So the question that I think a lot of us are asking is If LeBron is worth $412,000, how much is Steph worth? LeBron is a PSA 10. Steph's a PSA 10. There's only one of each. The LeBron totally exploded toward the end, but was it just two guys that were after it? Is that first guy who lost not going to go after this one, or is he going to go tougher? Did the first guy spend all his money? You just don't know. And so on a card like this, it's one to watch on Thursday night with me and Jeremy. Is this a card that could sell? Could it sell out? Could it outsell the LeBron? Could it sell for more than this? It absolutely could, right? It could. Is that totally crazy to me? It is totally crazy to me. I just don't look at these things and think, oh, that's clearly one of the best LeBron cards, or that's clearly one of the best Steph cards. I don't do that. To me, it doesn't really appeal the same way. But what is clear is that there are people who it does really appeal to. There are people who are collectors who really love this stuff. And just because I don't like something doesn't mean that I don't see why other people are after it, or I don't sort of honor what they think, right? We do this all the time where people will be like, oh, well, if that's worth this, then this has to be worth that. No, it's not true. People are going to buy what they're going to buy. They're going to want what they want. And again, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but I think there are people out there saying, like, is this the best Steph Curry card of the Panini era? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not sure. What I do know is I can't find my my page. And then the Jordan, already made a reel about it, but look, it's one of very few serial number Jordan inserts ever made. It's one of only 3 non-paralleled MJ serial numbered cards from 98 or before, from his Bulls days. It's the Great 8 and the Take-It2.net. Those are the only 3 serial numbered MJs that are unparalleled. That's it. And this is the best by a mile. I own one of these cards. Mine's an 8. I always ask the question, what would you rather have, this or my Slam Bams 8.5? People always say this, even though it's the lower grade. Slam Bams and an 8.5, I don't know. It's probably worth a lot more than the Jordan, or more than Playmakers Theater. But like, people like the Playmakers Theater a lot. I think it's a lot more iconic card. I think people like the image of Jordan a lot. I think people like, and at least I know I like, the fact that it is so rare out of a $2 pack. The idea to me, so I just thoughts by Adam real quick. The idea to me that these 2 cards, okay, could sell for around the same amount. It's really interesting, right? Put that part aside. That's not the key part here. This card came out of a pack that at the time was $500, and today's thousands of dollars. And it was really a huge card. It came out of a $500 pack. This came out of a $1 to $2 pack. This was impossible to find. And when it comes to like which one of these 2 types of cards I like more, I like this kind of card so much more. Like, there's all this hype, there's all this craziness around, and stuff goes up and stuff goes down. What I will say is undefeated to me is the idea that you could find something really rare out of something that cost almost nothing, and it could years later be worth a fortune. That is so much cooler than so many of the other things that are out there. And I'm just being real. Like, I'm not saying anything negative about Exquisite. I know everybody loves Exquisite. If you look at the number of watchers, more people are watching this triple logo man than they're watching this MJ. But I'm telling you right now, like, that story over time is undefeated. People love ultra rare pieces that weren't findable. None of us saw that card growing up. None of us. You saw it in Beckett, and it was like crazy. But like, you know, I say none of us. Like, yes, there were people out there who were like, yeah, I knew a dude. He found a Playmakers Theater Michael Jordan, and it was like, what? That's crazy. And then you look in the Beckett. In fact, I got this Beckett right in front of me right here. Wait, this is August of 97. Do I have a 90? Do I have something? Okay, check this out. So I'm gonna Beckett right in front of me. I always have stuff like this in front of me, guys. I've got a BCF right in front of me right now. I've got a BCF Wemby that I was looking at yesterday or a couple days ago. And now I got this 2000 Beckett with Kevin Garnett on it. So I'm going to look up real quick, 98 Fleer Tradition, which is just Fleer, right? They didn't make a regular Fleer. At some point, it just became Fleer Tradition. And when I do that, in fact, it's still listed as just Fleer, but it's listed as Fleer Tradition on here, on the slab, but it's just listed as Fleer in the Beckett. So, and if I scroll down, I find Playmakers Theater. So the Playmakers Theater set in 2000, the whole set, you could get all 15 cards, had a low book value of $1,500 and a high book value of $2,500. There are 100 stated print sets. They're serial numbered, randomly inserted into hobby and retail packs. And Michael Jordan had a low price of $450 to $600. You never saw that card. A base Jordan is worth like $1. This card, impossible. And so to see it now, all these years later, and I have totally buried the lead here. The reason this one's such a big deal, look at the condition. It's incredible. It's amazing. Okay, let's scroll through, find a few more things real quick. This Ohtani is going to go freaking crazy. It's one of one. It's people he's the story right now in all of sports. This is nuts. I don't even know what this is. Is this like the bat barrel with the kanji name? I mean, it's too much. It's too cool. Maybe Sterling wasn't the very best brand. Maybe it is. I don't know. I wish there was holofoil. Yeah, but one of one, Shohei, kanji autograph, nameplate. This is going to be one of the cards of the whole auction. Watch Shohei stuff. Watch this one. Have fun. PSA 9 on the Messi, obviously a big deal. I love this Mahomes. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's numbered out of 13. Why is that 13? Player worn Lamar Hunt patch? Huh? All right, we're going to look at that. I don't know what the story is there. I do not know what the story is there. We got to figure out what's going on there. I said I love it. I love it. I love it. Now I'm looking at it going, do I know what I need to know here? I'm not sure I know what I need to know here. I love the Steph Curry. Just spent a lot of my collection on a stupid printing plate of this guy. No, I love this thing. Numbered to 500, PSA 10. It is. I put this together for another card that was ending, I think. I put together. Let me go to my Instagram real quick. Show you guys something here really quick. Whoop. Let me go to. What am I doing? Losing my mind here real quick. Okay. Come on. You can get there. It's not going to my profile. Okay, went to my profile. So check this out real quick, guys. If you go here, you will see this. Look at this. Just look at this graphic. It's so much rarer. It is incredibly rare. 29 PSA 10 Steph Curry. Topps Chrome rookie cards. Topps Chrome refractor rookie cards. There's only 500 of these that were made. There are way more than that of LeBron, just so much more. Kobe, I don't know how many there are. I literally have no clue. I do know that the population's way, it is so much higher than it actually is. More of these have been cracked and graded than anything. But what I know for sure is 63 of these have been graded at 10. 29 of these have been. Yes, some of these are green now. The vast majority of the 63 are green. Maybe there's only 5 PSA 10 Kobe's that have good color. Maybe there's less than that. I don't know. Would I take a Kobe Bryant with good color PSA 10 over the Steph? Yes, by a mile for sure. But just straight up PSA 10, he just doesn't have many. 29. So is seeing this one at auction a big deal? Yes. Okay, I got to move on. I got to know what's going on here, though. What is this patch stuff all about? The enclosed player worn material and autograph are guaranteed by Panini. Patrick Mahomes has made a name. Blah, 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 blah. What is this Hunt stuff? Okay. To honor the late Lamar Hunt, the franchise's first owner and co-owner of the AFL, the Chiefs. Oh, that's what they're saying. I'm so sorry, guys. I lost my mind here for a second. Player worn Lamar Hunt patch. I was trying to figure out. I don't know who Lamar Hunt is. I have no idea. I'm an idiot, obviously, but clearly they were honoring him with this patch on the card. So I was just losing my mind for a second. Yeah, I do. I love this card. I love the holofoil around the window. I love that it's an acetate service. I love his autograph. I don't know why it's at a 13. Is it because of his draft position or something? No, I have no idea when Patrick Mahomes was drafted. And yes, I should know this. Why is it at a 13? I'll bet it's that he was drafted 13. It's got to be right. It's not his jersey number. What is Stars and Stripes? Should we Google this? Let's say, what draft number was Mahomes? 10th overall. Flip, I don't know anything, guys. Just stop listening to me right now. Who knows what this is for? I do know that it's cool. I know that it's great looking. I know that the acetate surface is awesome. I don't know why it's numbered to 13. Maybe they all are. I do know the autograph. The card's fantastic looking, and it's rare, and it's a rookie card. Does it have the rookie shield on it? It does. And that's all in Hall of Foil, too. All right. Talked enough about that one. We're going to get out of that, as usual, taking forever. So the Heritage auction this week is what we're going to finish with. I just want to say real quick, you can't forget the Fanatics Weekly. Fanatics Weekly, especially on the week where you have the premier auction, sometimes gives you some of the biggest, best deals out there. So definitely take your time on that. And then Card Hobby, guys. Just look at the first couple pages on Card Hobby, and you're going to see some of the biggest, specifically autograph patches that are selling this week. I did just want to highlight real quick. I don't know how good McCain's going to be because of his injury last year, not getting to see him nearly as much as we want to. But like, look, this is one of his best cards in existence. I love this card. And this guy, I don't know how good he's going to be, but man, you show me somebody with a better autograph and that inscription too. This guy is a marketing guy. We know this about him, right? He's always doing his TikTok and Instagram stuff. That is perfect. That autograph is perfect. It is a perfect autograph. There is not a better like Logoman autograph. Like that doesn't even look real. This looks like Panini was like, let's put the best autograph of Jared McCain that we can on a card and have him inscribe it. We'll mock it up. We'll put it out there. This looks like a mock-up. That's how good this card looks. This isn't a mock-up. This is just one of his best cards in existence. So how good is Jared McCain going to be? I have no idea. But I do know that's why it's sitting at $36,000 right now. Like that card is perfect. I think people would take the Flawless over this. I think people would take the National Treasures over this. Just in general. In general, people are going to take Flawless and National Treasures over Immaculate Logoman autographs. I don't know if he inscribed those other ones. I don't know what they look like. I do know I want to go to Card Ladder. I was going to say Card Hobby from Card Ladder. I do want to look at this though. Jared McCain. I'm just going to look at the highest Jared McCain sales ever. This is certainly going to be one of those. It's already going to be one. As long as it gets paid for, it is that. It's the highest Jared McCain sale ever. Even higher than his Prism Black. And man, do I get that. Okay, so we've talked about Card Hobby, talked about Fanatics Collect. We're going to finish this week now by looking at Heritage. I know the Heritage sells so much stuff that's like giant, crazy, biggest of the big type cards that, you know, a lot of people maybe don't even look, right? Because the big story this week with Heritage is they're selling literally one of the biggest baseball cards in existence. It's at over $3 million or $3.4 million or whatever, right? It's got a $7 million estimate. And people sort of go, do I need to look at the Heritage because we've got so many of these type cards. Look at this Jordan. Jordan's at almost $300,000. A Koufax autographed or jersey, game worn jersey. And then one of my favorites, this Ruth. I really want this Ruth. I really want this Ruth a lot. There was supposed to be another Ruth autograph that was going up for auction, but I haven't seen it. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it's not. Maybe there's not another one that's going up. This card is really nice, though. I really like it. I like it because, okay, so that autograph's graded a 7. I don't really understand why. It looks just like I want it to look. It's placed where I want it to be placed. It doesn't hit the end of the card. I need to look at it closer. Maybe if I look at it closer, I'll see something that makes me feel. And I get it. It's like, I don't get it. I just think it's a really basically perfect autograph. Yes, it's light in here and in here. But man, I love this card. Like, I want that card so much. I don't even like baseball, but I've always wanted an awesome Ruth autograph. I almost bought a really cool Ruth autograph from a guy a couple of years ago. We couldn't come to a price. You guys have to know, I've got to be like one of the worst people to try to deal with when selling cards. I like almost never buy cards. I just have to want it so much and feel so good about the price. And I'll walk away over and over and over again. But, oh man, on a Ruth like this, I mean, it's just wonderful. It's just a wonderful card. And then look at the card, right? Like a little bit more on that corner than on that one. But the card itself looks good. I don't see any creasing, not from the front anyways. Could I be missing something? I could be. Let's look at the back and see if anything stands out. Same corner issues. A little bit of something going on there, but nothing that I care about. It's just awesome. I just love this card so much. And yet, people see 2 and 7. Modern people don't get it. Modern people don't get this card. But, like, that is just... I love that card so much. Anyway, I love this Babe Ruth. I've now really hit like that. I'm gonna put that definitely in the top 5 this week. So, and unfortunately, oh gosh, I'm an idiot. Did I just do that? I just did that. All right, so let's keep going here. I accidentally closed something there. I didn't mean to. So we talked about the Ruth autograph, one of my favorite cards of the week for sure. But here, okay, let me compare these two things real quick. This card right here and this card right here are both currently sitting at the same bid. Michael Jordan, star, 6 with an 8 autograph, or this Ruth 2 with a 7 autograph. And I wonder what other people think about this. I get the star autograph. I do. I actually love the star autograph, especially because of the form of autograph on that card. I love that card. In a 6/8, it is huge. It is one of the biggest Michael Jordan rookie cards I would like to have. I would way rather have it than a PSA 10 Fleer rookie. I think it's in the same sort of category as like, no, it's not. I just it's like in the same category as like a PSA 9 star. The PSA 9 star is just, it's so tough on like, it's so tough to find one that's that nice. I don't know if it's in the same category as that. Even regardless of price, just category, it is one of the nicest autographs on the card that I think everybody would like to have autographed. And the autograph's fantastic. The blue gets lost on this. Black doesn't. Black looks so much nicer. But like for Babe Ruth, like Jordan has some amazing pack pulled stuff. Babe Ruth obviously does not. He was gone by the time that was happening. But he'd been gone for 50 years or something. For Babe Ruth, this is really close to as good as it gets. For Jordan, there are some other things I'd rather have. I know Jordan's market cap's probably way higher than Babe Ruth's is at this point, but they're two of the most collected athletes ever. I love the Jordan. The Ruth is on another level. It's just my take. It's just what I think. I get why the Jordan's so nice. I get how it's so much better than the most Jordan autographs out there. I know how rare the star card is. The Babe Ruth is unbelievable to me. So anyway, take that for what it's worth. Let's go down the next row. 210 grand for a near complete SGC graded T206 set. A Ruth rookie. This is the 1916 M101. It is a blank back. It is a 2. It is currently at 190 grand. The Mick in a 9 gray back from 1956. The Mick PSA 6 off-centered, but still really nice. Not nearly as bad as some of the centering. I say it's off-centered. I shouldn't even say that right off. Look at the color. Look at the image. Look at the registration. Look at the fact that it's a 6. It's a big deal that it's a 6. Look at how many 7s are in that PSA cert number. Kind of cool. Really cool. The cert number is not maybe the most important thing to other people, but I think it's kind of cool. So Cobb 1915. Oh, good. I have hiccups. That's nice. I'm gonna have to pause here for a second. Ty Cobb 1915 Cracker Jack in an 8. You want to talk about one of the most interesting sort of stratified pop reports ever? Go look at 1915 Cracker Jack. An 8's a huge deal, but also like you'll find cards where it's like there's 2 9s, 3 8s, 1 7, 6 5s, and then it'll like go all the way down to 1s. Like there will be just a few. It's like very evenly distributed throughout sometimes, but an 8 is always a huge deal. The Jeter, one of his best cards in existence. It's really an interesting question. What would you rather have, this or the SP that we were talking about earlier in a PSA 10? This is not as iconic of a card, but it's a far rarer of a card. That one's an earlier card. This one is a rookie because it's a rookie year card. It's a lot popular. I mean, there's 2 of these. There's 20 or something of the SPs. What would you rather have? Would you rather have this or the SP? I think it's an interesting question. So PSA 10 on Mantle's 1968 card. One of my favorite cards in the auction for sure. Every time a Gehrig autograph comes up, I just always sort of say to myself, man, it's incredible that card exists, because he just wasn't around much longer after this, right? Michael Jordan's ticket stub, graded a 4, pop 2, 3 higher. His debut ticket stub. Brooks Robinson, 1968. You're not going to find a Brooks Robinson pricier than this very often. The 1968 Topps 3D prototype. 1986 box, an 8 on the Willie Mays. Let's see if there's anything else here that I feel like you guys really need to see. Oh, I wanted to highlight this. This is an interesting card to see up at auction right now. This is like the grail of Star Wars cards, right? The first card from the first set in a PSA 10. I think there's like 9 of them. How many of them are there? There's a really low number. We're going to look at that one. Make sure we know how many of them there are. And then the other thing that I want to do, because I know some of you are like, there's a lot more basketball fans on here. I want to hit all basketball items. This is crazy. One of the original ad campaign puppets of Penny. There's, clearly there were a few of these, right? And some of them were for images, and some of them were like the puppet that actually talked. It's one of the best. It's one of the biggest ad campaigns for an individual athlete ever. Lil Penny, Lil Penny, or Little Penny, as I would have called him. This was like the ads every time they came out. You would go to school, and you'd be like at school and be like, "Did you see the new Little Penny commercial?" And it was Penny and Little Penny was Chris Rock, I think was his voice. And they were so popular. It's really, if you look at Penny and his way that he has continued to have the popularity he has in cards, kind of despite what happened to him with the injuries. He didn't fulfill what he could have been, but he's still so popular. I personally think a lot of that comes back to this ad campaign. I do. And I think a lot of people feel that way. So seeing this at auction, I saw this at National, and I was just like, that is crazy. I'd like to do a reel on it. I don't think I'm going to get time, unfortunately. Really cool Shohei piece here. 1 of 1 foil fractor. And it's one to watch for this week, guys. The 1 of 1 Shohei stuff is really tough. Okay, we're down to, we're only at stuff now that has $20,000 bits. We're still in the 20,000s, even though we've been going for a while. Let's just scroll to the top real quick, and we're gonna click this button right. Where is it? Sorry, I'm getting a little lost here. So we're in the sports. I want to do an individual sport. I want to do basketball. I have done this in the past. Why am I having a hard time right now? All sports, basketball. It was only the very first thing I could have looked at. Sorry about that, guys. So if I do that and then hit search, we're going to just get basketball items. And we've already looked at these, but I want to scroll down a little bit more. A Heat ring from Jarvis Varnado. That's pretty cool. Championship rings. You don't see those very often. The Jordan autograph floor, numbered 1 of 23. That's cool. An Iverson future credentials. That's at $14,500. Steph's first flawless autograph patch. I love this Tiger MJ. I sort of want to do a piece on this and ask the question, how many duels of those two exist? Because I don't have any idea, and I'd really like to know that. 76 unopened box is pretty cool. Wemby Bowman U autograph. PSA 10 sticker of Magic. People are always putting together that set. Those things always seem to do well. A sealed case of 89 Fleer wax. Hal Greer and a PSA 9, an SGC 10 of LeBron. Oh, this is cool. Christian Laettner, the shot autograph ticket. The ticket there is the really cool part. Obviously, there's a lot of Christian Laettner autographs out there that aren't the most expensive thing, but that is one of the most iconic moments in sports history. And that's what you're looking for on a lot of tickets. Ticket collectors love stuff like that, guys. Oh, really an interesting card here. Look at this. Wendell Ladner, PSA 6/9. At first, I thought that was Mike D'Antoni. He's also in the set. Great looking signature. Only known example. Those words, you never know what happens when you get one of those. Guide, they've got this at a $10,000 guide and up. I don't know who Wendell Ladner is. What I do know is he plays with the Nets. And if he played with the Nets, that means he played in the ABA. You can see that little red, white, and blue ball there. ABA stuff's highly collectible, guys. The fact that there's only one of these should be an interesting auction to watch. I don't know if it gets to 10,000. I don't know if it doesn't sell for 25,000. You just never know on stuff like that. Authentic altered Mikan. Gosh, this Mikan looks just like mine. This is like my card. This is crazy. I got to look at this one. That's a great looking card. The Jordan Prism Jewel card, always a big deal every time it sells. BGS 4 is a great looking card. This is going to be a 3D one. Yep, graded by CGC. This is so cool. I love this Jordan here. 3D acrylic Michael Jordan Team Leaders card. Might do a reel on that one. I don't think a lot of people know about that set. Easily the most important thing that came out of 91. 91 Fleer. Okay, let's go take a quick look at each of these. So we already looked at this Ruth. Why? We already looked at this Ruth too. Do I only have 2 other cards that I wanted to look at? That's weird. I thought I chose a lot more. Maybe I didn't click the right button. Anyway, I'm almost out of time anyways, so I have to finish this. So this is the line, right? This is the most important line in the whole thing. Offered is a 1977 Top Star Wars #1 title, Luke Skywalker, that has been graded PSA 10 Gem Mint, PSA Gem Mint 10. Out of over 4,000 PSA graded examples, only 9 have been graded Gem Mint. And the only other thing I'll add is that when we did the Iconic 100, the first time, when it included non-sports stuff, this is one of the only non-sports cards that everybody knows, guys. It's like the king of non-sports, and there's only 9 of them. I know a couple of guys in particular, a couple of different guys who collect this type of stuff. This is going to be an interesting auction. This is one to watch, especially with the love that we're seeing in the non-sports entertainment world. This will be a really interesting auction to watch. I don't know how long it's been. In fact, let's look at that real quick. I think this will be fun to look at real fast. Oh, I thought I had card ladder still open. Do I not? Yeah, there it is. So we're just going to type in Luke Skywalker. And we're going to sort by price. And we're going to see right here at the top, in 2023, this sold for $78,000. And when we look at that, if we hit view sales on this card and we hit same grade, we get 5 results. 2 in 2023, really close to each other, actually. And then 2021, 2019, and 2020, which means we have not seen one of these sell in 2 years. And the hobby has seen a very strong uptick in the 2 years. Now, some people are going to say this one was an NBA gold label, and that really matters. It did sell for more than what it had sold for a few months before. And so we can attribute the gold label for that, or maybe the market was up a little bit in that time. I'm not sure. It may be the gold label is really like what really influencing it there. I'm not sure. But what I know is that Oh, we've got that mic in to go look at too. What I do know is that, okay, so this one is currently at $58,000. The market has completely changed since this sold. I think this will be a really fun one to watch. I don't know. I'm not sure. I know a couple guys that I think might be after it, but I don't know for sure if they are. I think it might be a fun one to watch. We'll leave it at that. Maybe it won't be. Maybe I'm wrong. And this Mikan says it's altered, just like mine said it's altered. Mine, they said that the color is missing, which I don't get, but it is, they say. This card looks phenomenal. Why isn't the zoom working? Okay. Mine has like a little curve around the corner. This one does not. That they sort of said, we think that this shows that it's trimmed. But I don't see anything on this one either that sort of shows me that it's... What is the altered part of the card? Is there like blue that's been added or something? See this like weird, this little line right here? Is that normal? I just think this card looks basically like I want it to. Need a little bit of a curve there. I don't know. Does it curve out and curve back in? I've had some people tell me they think that the blades just did that in 1948 Bowman on some spots, but I don't know. What I do know is I want to go look at this write-up and see if they've said anything. Okay. This rookie has been hand cut. Okay. His classic ball handling depiction is only mildly affected by creasing. Gosh, why am I not even seeing it, guys? My eyes just suck. I don't see any creasing on this card. I'm going to trust what they say, but I want to look at it again. I want to know, what am I missing? Man, it looks good to me. I don't know. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of altered Mikans out there, PSA 1 Mikans out there. There are not very many that look as good as that one. Guys, a lot of great cards this week. I love the Noah. There's so many great cards. So many of the great things for Heritage that we already talked about. The Ruth, you guys know I talked about that one forever. This is one of the best baseball cards in the world. I already talked about it at length on a reel that I've done. I've actually talked about this card in several different places as well. This is one of the biggest baseball cards in existence. They all end this week. Across all these different auctions. If you guys aren't following, please follow. If you guys liked what you heard here, please tell somebody. Please let somebody know. I will say one last thing about this. I did not do the show last week because I was in California. The thing that I learned while I was gone is that I already know, not that many people watch the show. It's an average week. An average one of these episodes gets like 800 views. But I look at the data around the people who watch the show. It's like some of you guys watch this show the whole way through, regardless of how long it is. And I know that, right? But when I don't do a show for a week and I get all the messages that I got, which were like, I need this, where is it? And I put on my Instagram that I wasn't going to be able to do it. But of course, a lot of you aren't following me on Instagram. If you're not, by the way, go hit up the Real 27 guy on Instagram. That's me. I just am always surprised when people are like, I need this in my, like, it's become part of my process. I need this in my life. I need you to be continuing to do it. And it makes me happy. I love doing the show. I love doing the YouTube, the show, just being able to sort of like think through stuff, because remember, the main goal here is for me to just show off the biggest auctions of the week so I can think about what things I want to do content about during the week. And I'm very grateful to be able to do that. And so thank you guys for joining today. Thank you for watching. But if there's anything you can do to tell somebody about it, let somebody know, let an auction house know that you have been watching and that's how you found out about something. I think a lot of times what happens is people think I'm getting like benefits. Like you'll notice I never have any links up. I don't want you to feel ever like I am really trying to sell you these cards. I'm not trying to sell you these cards. I'm trying, and this is true for my reels too. I'm saying, here's the story. Here are the things that you might find interesting from a collector's perspective, and go look at it if you're interested. But if you find something where you're like, I found this because of Adam, or I really like how you talked about this, Adam, you could tell the auction houses, and it could make a big difference. Some of these auction houses, you guys know, I like that's how I make my living. I get paid from them to create some of that other content. But this show I do because I think it will be interesting to you guys. And I know that there's only a few hundred of you who watch every week. But like I said, I learned last week again that a lot of you are like, Adam, I need this. So thank you for that. Thank you for doing all that you guys do. Thank you for watching. It's a privilege to make it. Hope you guys have a great week. It's good to spend a little bit of time with you today. And I hope you have a great week. And until next time, happy collecting.